All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is part of, I guess I don't know if it's a SETI series, but it's an ongoing. I try to do this about quarterly of having an open masterclass to address common questions that I'm seeing throughout the coaching message boards and groups and just in coaches in general. A lot of the stuff that I typically will help coaches with again and again and again, common questions that we all need help with or clarity or something. And so I'm here to help. And Mrs. Gray is showing up just in time. Oh, perfect timing. So while see, we got more coaches coming in. I knew I should have held my intro, but it was all right because there's still more to the intro. For those who don't know, I'm Ben Dooley. I'm an MCC coach, and for the last 15 years, I've been training and growing and developing coaches, and it's really been a big part of my pursuit in getting a clarity of what it is that we do, not just learning some great techniques and tools and foundations and skills, but to really, I've been constantly hungry for what is it that we do and how does it work and why does it work and why is it so powerful and effective, and really plunging into the depths and the intricacies of coaching. And that was really because back in the day, there was no what else. Once you got trained, and then you just learned and grew and got better as you went along, and you took a class to learn this tool, and you took a class to learn this little angle, but there really wasn't anything out there that said, here's how to take what you've got and get bigger and higher and stronger and more solid and deeper and faster and everything. There's nothing, and there's things that have been emerging over the years now, but still, I find that there's still precious little that really helps us tap into our excellence. On the good side, you've got all these groups. There's tons of resources and coaches and mentors and trainers out there who are bringing in. I'm going to be honest, there's also those who are just really filling up stuff and taking up space. And then there are those that are providing really tremendous value. And it is admittedly overwhelming for coaches, I'm going to guess, to really know where to go and where to get help and how to get stronger. So that's partly why, like, here, take this. I'm here to help. This is not a big, giant commercial. This is truly training, but I want to let you know sort of the resource of where this class has come, or this lessons have come from. Thank you, Laura. I try to speak a lot of truth when it comes to coaching. And there's going to be a lot of truth telling here on this. There's going to be some myth busting and things that you may be like, really? That's not what I was told. Yeah. Okay. So, but this is a small part of an advanced coach training program that I offer. It's called the Fast Pass to Masterful Coaching. I'm not going to make a commercial, but I'll pop in the link and you can check it out and see more. There is a class that begins Wednesday. So if you are interested, you're looking for incredible training, this will be a teeny tiny taste of what's to come. But the entire course is ACSTH approved with ICF. It's packed with like 60 plus hours, core continuing CCEUs, mentor coaching hours, and some of the most powerful, phenomenal coach training that you will ever get. And that's not me saying that, that's those who are in the class and have been in the class over the last 11 years have been continually grateful that this is the class that totally changed their coaching. So I'm happy to provide some parts of this to get your wheels turning. If you sign up for the class, I'm happy to give you a discount, a little 10% discount, because I'd love to get you in. If you want to take it later, that's great. And if you don't, that's cool too. That's why we're here today, so that at the very least, you get stuff. I'm sure there'll be other things that will pop up, but I want to get into this because this has been kind of swimming in my head all morning. I don't, as a practice, do things on Sunday mornings. That's my family time. That's, being with my wife and this and that. And I've got these monthly webinars that are like master classes, a bit different than this, every second Monday morning. So my brilliance went, hey, I'm going to tie it in and just do this and on that Monday, tomorrow. And then I may be a master coach. I may be fantastic and incredible training and all of that, but apparently I don't understand how to read calendars. And so I accidentally made this for Sunday morning. But instead of changing it, oh, that's not what I want. It's not going to work. It's going to be inconvenient. Oh, I don't like it. I already saw there was a bunch of coaches already signed up. And one of them, this ties in with one of the things that I'm going to share with you, which is the insight. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the view. There we go. That one of the qualities, we're going to go into this in more detail about what is masterful coaching really. What is it? What does it mean to be a master coach? Which is different than being an MCC. There's overlap. There's informing. Masterful coach definitely was much more easily able to achieve MCC standards and markers in assessments. But we're really talking about owning and mastering this craft that we have called coaching. And in all my experiences and studies and explorations and discoveries of a large list. We're not going to get to the whole list today, but we're going to pull out as much as I can. And in that list, there is one that is recognizing the perfection and the gift and the opportunity in everything. In everything, even in the mess. That means, well, actually here, I open up, we got a few people here, we can have a little conversation. When you hear me say, recognize the perfection, gift, and opportunity in everything, I will detail it, but I'd love to hear how that lands for you and what does that make you think? Anybody?
Well, that reminds me of emotional intelligence, where the positive psychology, they talk about always looking at the silver lining of things. Even throughout the pandemic, people would always look at the positives versus like all the negatives,
right?
Because we have, our brain is wired, has a bias for the negative. So knowing that tendency, you really have to have more intentionality about looking at the bright things.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's good. And that's very good. Yes. Anybody else? What else is coming up for you? Recognizing the perfection and the gift and the opportunity.
Try to make that my outlook on life in general. I'm not coaching per se, but I think the bigger the mess is, the harder it is to pull out those nuggets, of goodness and opportunity. One story that really stands in my mind is someone was telling over that her father was in Sloan Kettering with cancer and was not doing well, but she noticed that every single time they came to visit, they found a parking spot right in front. And if you ever driven in Manhattan ever or tried to find parking, usually you just give up after a while. Yeah. And she noticed every single time, it was like a miracle, that as difficult as it was, she felt it was this little gift in this big mess and pain that she was able to really appreciate, and it made her feel good that somewhere in all this pain and mess was this gift that she was getting. Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful. What else is coming up? Recognizing the perfection, gift, and opportunity in everything. Laura, for me, go ahead. There we go. Yes. Well, Laura had typed in, for me, it fits with the concept that we are already complete and whole, and it's just seeing it in new ways to be reminded of that. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm going to sink that all in a little bit more. It's okay. You're typing quickly, Laura. Thank you very much. There's a little bit more. That's why it's in those three spots. It's recognizing the perfection that is already here, which is different than creating perfection for all you recovering perfectionists out there. We're not making perfection. It's already here, even in the mess, even in the discomfort. Of course, Laura, you've got children running around right now. Of course, Aviva, you've got somebody building a deck right now. Of course, I made an error and this is now on Sunday instead of Monday. And to accept it rather than hold on to the regret and the reason, it's not supposed to be this way. It shouldn't. It's wrong. It's actually, this is how it is. And to accept and embrace how it is, because we cannot change the past. We can only stand in the present. So it's as a tool, as a masterful coach, to really recognize it's not just find the silver lining. Yeah, this sucks, but look at the good side. I know that's not what you meant. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But it's really looking at even the sucks, even the frustrating, even the pain, even the irritation, even the this is totally not what I want. Even that is its own perfection. It cannot be any other way. It's actually really prominent. It's prominent throughout our entire lives constantly, but there's major events occur. Pandemic was brought up. Yeah, it's huge. It's worldwide. There's tremendous amounts of pain and suffering. It's not to minimize it at all, but it's to actually acknowledge and accept this is how it is. And when we do that, we are able to let go, because you're absolutely right. I think it was Miriam that said, we are naturally wired to find things that are wrong and to look at the negative side, and it's all designed in our survival mechanisms to protect ourselves and stay alive. If I preempt and spot all the bad things and I find all the bad things, then I can prepare and I can protect and I defend, and then everything's okay. And it's a survival mode. But when we actually own and accept, got it, this is just how it is. I don't have to like it. But it is how it is. Because me not liking it, me being cranky about it, me resenting and resisting isn't going to change it. It's still here. Case in point. Oh, this should have been on Monday. If only this was Monday. Oh, crap. It's still Sunday. So to accept it, and I bring this up because when this shows up in our coaching, we have raise your hand, put a thumbs up in when you have come across conflicts and obstacles and frustrations with your clients. When your client shuts down, when your client is angry and frustrated and pissed off at you. When you said something that hit them wrong, when they feel like they're not getting any momentum and they're not getting anywhere, and you've been working with them for 2 years and they're going and they fell back into old habits and it's all a waste. We run into this all the time. Yes? Thumbs up. Yes. Nod heads. This is part of our coaching journey. We're trained in training. I know you all have experienced this, that coaching is so easy and it's so much fun. And we get together in our classes and our groups and we coach each other and say, oh, yes, I get it. It's all wonderful. And we get a lot of that with our clients. And the real coaching is when all that wonderful stuff, those tools that we've been given, those platforms, those powerful processes and simple tools, when those things don't work, that's where the real coaching begins. Because invariably, the stuff that's coming up, of course it's coming up. Of course there's frustration. Of course your client is freaking out. Of course you don't know what to do or where to go. Or of course you're feeling stuck and lost and empty. Of course all of that. And it's until we actually recognize that and acknowledge this is how it is. Once we do that, we let go of the fighting, we let go of the battle and the trying to change something that is impossible to change. And that's when we start to open up and see there's a gift inside. So it's not even silver lining, it's in the mess, there's a gift. Because of this mess, because of this discomfort, because of this pain, there is a gift here. We cannot see it when we're resisting it. We completely are now available to see it when we accept and embrace the simple, this is how it is, the perfection of this. And that, when we see the gift, is when the opportunity to, this is what's next. This is what I can learn from. This is how I can change. This is, thank goodness, as uncomfortable and painful as this is, this I can make something new and different from this. Recognizing the perfection reveals the gift and opens up opportunity. And this is the world that a masterful coach holds constantly with us as coaches and with our clients. Is this making sense? Nodding heads, open lines. You can comment, questions, comment.
I work mainly with clients with ADHD and ADHD-like traits.
Oh,
And most people, when they come to me, are at this point of feeling the mess and like everything's going wrong. Maybe lost a job, dropped out of school, verge of divorce. And there's been kind of a really big shift in the ADHD world in the last maybe 10 years to see it not as a disability, but as a unique set of traits, a different brain wiring, that there is a big gift. There are a lot of gifts there, but you have to accept what it is with the challenges, work on those challenges, but only then can you really embrace all the gifts of ADHD, what they call the ADHD superpowers.
it
So
is.
I think that's a really nice example for that.
Yeah, it's a brilliant example. And it was one of my early heartbreaking moments was talking to a 10-year-old boy, and non-coaching related, but I was talking with him and I said, hey, so have you done this, blah, blah, blah. And his whole body slumped in defeat and said, I can't because I have ADD. It broke my heart.
Yeah.
That he was instantly, at 10 years old, he was programmed, there's something wrong with you. And you're less than because of that. And the stand is you are more than because of that. It is a tremendous gift. ADD, introverts, children on the spectrum, adults on the spectrum, all these conditions that have been looked at as a negative trait and a demotion of our humanity is an asset. It's an asset, it's a gift. And those are somewhat more extreme versions, but now it's looking at even those debilitations that our clients are bringing in. Not diagnosed, not clinical, not medical, our own self-imposed or imposed by our world around us limitations. I can't because I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. Blah, all that programming that has beaten us and our clients down. And to look at you are an amazing gift. And because of these issues and these obstacles and these downtrodden things, we're going to use that to see the gift. Not, well, put that bad stuff aside and find the gift. It's actually go into that mess, embrace it. Yes, you are. Not less than, you are this. This is how your brain is wired. This is how your body is. This is what your skill sets are right now. And let's go into that. Find the gift. Thand, thank you. You do not have a microphone today. That's okay. Eric, I actually have one here for you. So this is This is my microphone that I use for those occasional, very important mic drops, just in case. So this, before we even launched into the actual planned content, I was thinking about this morning of this mistake. This class was supposed to be tomorrow on Monday. It got scheduled for Sunday. Coaches, you signed up and said, I'm going to be here. Great. Then let's embrace it and let's trust that the right coaches are here. So I am so glad you are all here. Those who just trickled in, thank you for being here. Thank you. We're here to have fun. We're here to learn some important things. Okay, so we ready to start now? Because we haven't already. So I wanted to just open up any other comments or questions from this before we move on, just to kind of, Miriam, you mentioned something about Shazad. Yeah, Shazad, I'm not the only one that holds this, but this is really a critical concept when we talk about masterful coaching. Yeah. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Okay. All right. So what I thought I would do today is start off by actually pointing to you. Because a big part about in the class that I teach, the work that I do with coaches, it's really to build and grow us as coaches. How we can then show up fully, bring our full selves to what we do. The more that you have access to yourself, the more you're able to bring to your clients and your coaching. And so part of that is in the class, we do a lot of sort of identifying and pointing to that and bringing this beautiful, magnificent, incredible coach out, revealing this coach to yourself and to the world in amazing ways. But we're going to start doing that in just a little bit here, because by the way, the class is 29 two-hour lessons. So there's no way I'm going to be able to cram it all into this one, but I'm going to give you some good stuff here. So we're going to look at the scale of our coaching confidence, because our confidence is what brings us and supports us as we go into that recognizing and embracing the perfection and gift and opportunity, right? If you're in shaky ground and you're not quite sure about what you're doing, and I don't know, I'm not that strong of a coach, and this is weird and uncomfortable, those messy things are going to knock us off. But when we are grounded, when we are solid, when we are confident in who we are and what we do and what we bring, then that makes it available for us to stand proudly and strongly in the storm. So let's take a look at what your current coaching confidence is. And don't worry, there's no good or bad number. It's just where you are. And I'm going to set the scale. So 0 to 10, 0. Oh, Renata, I'm so sorry you're going to have to leave, but contact me. I'm recording this. You'll get the rest of it. I'm going to send the recording out to those to you signed up, so don't worry. But stick around as long as you can. So on a scale of 0 to 10, let's mark the 0 as the worst confidence. No confidence whatsoever. I am the worst coach in the world. Don't call me. Not even with the simplest problem. You don't even come to me. And I know you all are not there. You're not at a 0. So we're going to take that away. A 10 is that place of whatever you got, bring it on. Whatever you need, I can adjust, modify, adapt, and I can be that for you. And whatever happens, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, unexpected, whatever happens, I can handle it. I got this. Just come here. Bring everything you've got. That's a 10. Now, you may be at a 10, but that's a pretty high bar. My guess is most of you are going to be somewhere in the middle there. Call out or type in And really do this. Don't just pretend the number and think about it. Mark it, either share with us or type it in where you see yourself, your current coaching confidence. Where is everybody? I got a 6 to 7. I got a 5. Got it. Great. And there's more than 2 people on this call. Come on, come on. Where's your current coaching confidence? Well, it could be also a couple people stepped away. So look at what it is that first up, I know it's easy again, as was brought up, it's easy. We're wired to look at, well, when I'm not. Yeah, Miriam, 10, you're at a 10 as you're constantly evolving and learning. Oh, I love it. Totally solid, locked and loaded. Got it. By the way, I love the distinction there. 10 doesn't mean, I got it, I know all there is to know. 10 is just standing in that deep, solid confidence. I can handle anything. Bring it on. Whatever comes, whatever you got, whatever mess happens, whatever unexpected thing, I got this. I don't know what it is. I can't prepare for it, but I know that whatever happens, we're okay. So, looking at confidence, by the way, comes from the Latin word fide, as in fidelity, which is also trust. So confidence is really pointing to trust. Do you trust? How much do you trust? It's one of the cornerstones of our coach training and our core competencies, but it's really that deep layer of the work that we do. Confidence is in everything that we do. And when we trust ourselves, we trust our clients, we trust the model that we've gotten, we trust our experience, we trust the relationship and the partnership. There's trust on many different levels. And when we have that strong trust, now we can actually stand much more confidently. I mean, look at the stuff. Pick something in your life other than coaching that you do have a high super 10 confidence about. And it can be something simple, like making potato salad, right? This could be, don't even touch me when it comes to potato salad. I got this. In fact, I know how to make potato salad even when I don't have potatoes. That's how good I am. You bring it on. You need potato salad for one person. You need potato salad for 100 people. I can handle it. We all have something like that. Something simple, small, seemingly insignificant maybe, but that we are high 10 confidence. What do we got? Anybody share? What are we awesome at? If somebody's got their microphone open, what is that? There we go. Laura, is that you? Oh, great at sleeping. Yes. Don't mess with me. I can sleep like that. Put me standing upright. If I got to, I'll sleep. I don't know if that's what you meant. Yeah. Take a look. We all have the capability of, we're all great at sleeping. We all have the capability of something in our lives that we are highly confident in. And all that it means is look at the journey that you were on. I mean, whether it's planning events or, making food or washing the car, you're a brilliant, super high confidence. When I ask this question of parenting or a particular part of your job at work or whatever it is, that you are all really excellent at something. By the way, little hint, Find that thing in your clients that they are brilliant and excellent about, that they have a high 10 confidence. Because with some exceptions, you're probably running across clients who are feeling less than. And I'm not good enough, and I don't know how, and I don't know why, and this is so hard, and all this stuff, because they're coming to you with unsolvable problems. And they may start realizing and feeling that they are incapable of being powerful. And one of the things that we do as coaches is we find the powerful that's already in there. Again, it's not the silver lining, it's just pulling aside all the crap and all the mess and all the I'm nots and look inside. Yes, but what are you? Tell me who you are. Tell me about the magnificence that you are. Even if it's just a little teeny tiny bit true. Because here's the deal. For anybody that's ever grown a garden, started a fire, grown children, whatever it is, you cannot create something that's not there. You cannot create something that's not there. Well, maybe you can. It's really, really, really hard. But we do know that every single fire began with a single spark. You just got to find that spark. Every single lush garden, every single giant, thriving, huge rainforest began with a seed. We just have to find that seed in there in our clients. When we find that seed, it's there. Every single person that you engage with has magnificence within them. They may not be living it. They may not see it themselves. They may be convinced that that's not there. But our job, either directly or indirectly, is to find that magnificence that lies within them. Because once you find that, even that little teeny tiny little seed, all it takes now is just the right amount of sunshine, food, and water. And that's what we do in coaching. That's what we get to bring out in them. Making sense? Yeah. So, your confidence number. Take a moment and look at why you gave it that number. Like what? I mean, it was already mentioned. I think it was Miriam said, she's constantly evolving and learning. But it's also that 6 or 7 or that 5. There's something good about it. Could have been less. Could have been 4. Could have been a 5. Could have been a 9.8. So look at what is it that is giving you that extra boost, that makes it that number. That's the positivity. By the way, use this tool with your clients. I know that there's this sort of stigma that's out there with, the scale from 1 to 10. Oh, you shouldn't use the scale from 1 to 10. It's elementary. It's beginners. No, you're not using it correctly. There's so many ways to use this tool. It'll actually be, as I mentioned in my Monday webinars, this will actually be, the scale of 1 to 10 will be in an upcoming webinar. So keep an eye out for that. That will be for charge though. Yeah, Laura, 5, because sometimes pretty great and sometimes I fall flat. Would be awesome to be pretty great more often. Yeah, it would.
Can I say something, Ben? I think for me,
say something.
No, I was just going to say, I think for me, the rating has to do with the belief, like the same belief that I give my clients. I have the full belief that they have ability to figure out their own answers by, obviously with my assistants being able to paraphrase and ask powerful questions.
Yeah.
But I think the same belief that you're granting your client, you should give yourself as well. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you are doing all the time great things. It means like you're being able to reflect and have that metacognition to be able to figure out, okay, what went well, what didn't go so well, what can I do differently next time? So I think for me, that's the power to be able to be reflective and do better every single time. Even when we think we did great, there's always another opportunity. What else could I have done? What else could have served my client better?
Well,
So that's really what I'm referring to.
Exactly.
I think,
Well, I love what you're pointing to, because there's actually a distinction between confidence and effectiveness or performance or impact. They're hand in hand. They do tie in and influence each other. But I get what you're pointing to, which is the confidence is, wow, even when this is messy, where do we go from here? And what do we do here? There's actually, when we stand in that higher confidence, and by the way, I'll point to even Laura, that's where you actually get to be pretty great all the time. And your client gets to be pretty great all the time. Even when it's messy, even when we're stuck, even when it's frustrating or feels like we're doing steps back, when we are standing in that higher confidence, then we actually get to hold those as still being great. Yeah, beautiful. So it's take a moment and even just write down and notice those things that inform your number. Well, it would be lower, but I do this and I feel this and I know this. Oh, is it more noise and construction? Go ahead. That must be Aviva.
I apologize. No, I guess the challenge I'm having right now is that I'm kind of going through the PCC credentialing process. And there's a big distinction between a session that I can look and say, wow, that was a powerful session. I was really present. The client had big aha moments. They really moved forward. But as far as like for recordings, it doesn't like check off all the boxes. And you know, having sessions evaluated by someone, I didn't submit yet, but that's an assessment of this one passed. So like, it makes you kind of feel like,
yeah,
just whatever, I'm just gonna put that out there. Cause like I said, where my confidence is really like taking a beating right now, because I feel like I can have a really good session, but it's just not a submittable session.
So whoever you're working with hopefully has clarified that, because when I'm evaluating recordings and coaches and all that, it's one of the prime distinctions that I make all the time, which is what you're doing is wonderful and it's helping and it's serving your client, and it's not necessarily ICF coaching.
Right. So I get that. It's just, I guess it's the frustration, I guess, you know, that it's, especially like one more thing is that working with clients that are ADHD, all my recordings, none of my recordings do with my typical clients, because I can't, it doesn't work for ICF. So it's all separate.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's just, so that's kind of where I am right now with the frustration and the numbers.
Yeah. Well,
my confidence.
Yeah. So how about this? I'm happy to offer a complimentary, just to kind of walk through your more specifics, because I'm happy to help however I can. I mean, if it's ongoing, whatever, but it sounds like you're getting some really good support anyways, but contact me and I'll, typing in here my email. So just send me a quick email and then we can schedule a time, and I can kind of give you a couple little pointers and things that might help find that distinction, that difference. Because what we do isn't exactly what ICF may be looking for. And a big part of that is that they're needing to recognize those 8 core competencies, unless they're with the old 11 core competencies, but either one. Right. And so they need to see all of those there. And you're absolutely right. Many of our typical clients make that really challenging to fulfill, because we're not always doing all the core competencies every single coaching session, and every single client is different. So I'm happy to help. Yeah. And a big part of that is, again, looking at the confidence numbers. Our confidence, this is a great example. How perfect. Thank you for sharing that, as opposed to Aviva. No, that's not part of my planned schedule. You're messing up the timeline. It's actually, thank you for bringing that in. Yes, because notice how our clients don't go according to plan. Messy clients are always messing it up. If only they would be perfect, great clients. And that's part of where this little lesson, recognizing the perfection, your clients are absolutely perfect. even when they're messy, even when they're scattered, even when they have no idea what to talk about, even when they come in with 427 urgent things that have to happen now, but none of them can happen because all of those things, it's still absolutely perfect. Got it. Okay. And then as coaches, it's how do we handle that? How do we work and navigate with our clients? And so it does go hand in hand because our confidence gets informed by our environment and the experience. And when we have frustrating experiences and environments, it starts to chip and erode at our confidence. And then when we have wonderful and exciting experiences and environments, then our confidence gets stronger. Ideally, our confidence continues to get stronger so that when the challenging environments and experiences come about, we don't take as much of a hit. We don't go down as far as we used to. This is why I bring up that other non-coaching thing that you do. When you first started doing whatever it was probably awkward and uncomfortable, and you followed the guidelines, and oh, can't do one little mistake, and oh crap, it's messed up, and you didn't talk about it, and you kept it quiet. But then as time went by and you practiced it and you did more of it and you got stronger and better, and then you explored and discovered more variations and played around with it and stepped away from the recipe or the instructions or whatever it was. And then you started to get creative and you started to add your own little twist, and then unexpected things occurred and you dealt with it. This is what happens in our lives, and this is what happens in our coaching. So confidence, yes. So here's I'm gonna so mark down what qualities are really supporting you currently in your confidence, because those are actually the good parts that you can always rely upon and trust, even when the environment comes and the situations occur and the unexpected stuff knocks you down a little bit. You've got this in you. So one of the things that I talk about and teach tremendously in the class is that you are already a powerful, amazing, incredible, brilliant, masterful coach. The challenge is being able to connect to that coach, that has woken up and been here, that has woken up and is present, and being able to bring him or her out into the world. And when that coach shows up, your coaching is magnificent. And when we've lost a little connection to that coach for whatever reason, and it happens all the time, I can promise you, every single coach, no matter how long they've been doing this, has had those moments where they've gotten thrown, shaken, caught off guard, lost, confused, stuck. The difference is that they have learned how to catch it and reconnect and get back to that depth and that richness that's within. I can promise you, every single coach has lost that focus, that flow, that connection, that thing. And it's probably, if they've been doing this now for years, they're not even noticing it now. They're catching themselves that quickly and reconnecting to themselves and their depth. That's how we get back on track. Is that making sense? Yeah. All right. So we're going to go and break apart a couple of myths here about what makes masterful coaching. So there's I'm sure we've all heard, there's a myth out there that says it takes 10,000 hours to be a master at something, right? We've heard this. You can type in or nod if you're on video, it's okay. So 10,000 hours. It's just, here's the deal. It actually is, the number is insignificant. It's not, let's be honest, It's not like, well, I've been coaching for 9,999 hours. I have no idea what I'm doing. And then when I did that one last client, bing, I'm a master. Da, 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 okay. It doesn't work that way. It's just a big number. There haven't been intricate studies that identified, yes, 10,000 an hour. It's just a huge number that indicates you need to be committing to something for a lengthy, long period of time. But let's get clear what we're talking about here, okay? Because I did the math on this, so you don't have to. 10,000 coaching hours. That's what we're talking about here. So if you started day one of your coaching with 20 clients, 20 clients. First day, you decided to call yourself a coach. And then you had 20 clients. Now we're talking full 1 hour. Now that's not that difficult to handle when you think about, that's only 4 clients a day. I can handle that. 4 clients a day, 5 days a week, great. So let's assume you had 20 clients day one every week for 1 full hour each. That's 20 hours every week. We have 52 weeks in the year. Take 2 weeks off for vacation because you're going to need it, which means 50 times 20, which comes to 1,000 hours every year, which means that by this math, you would have to be coaching 20 clients solidly, consistently from day one for 10 years to achieve this incredible, mythical 10,000 hours. At which point you'll then be a master at what you do. Now, I don't know about you, certainly not me. I didn't have 20 clients on day one. It's even a challenge to maintain 20 clients, and I've been doing this for 18 plus years. Clients come, clients go. Now, I may have more clients, but they're not all 1 hour long every single week. So maintaining that schedule now gets a little harder, which means that in truth, it actually will take you 15, 20, 25 or more years to achieve that 10,000 hours, which means by this theory that it's going to be another 20, 25 years before you get to be a master. Too bad. Oh, well. And where I sit, and when I look around, this world needs us. The world can't wait 20, 25 years for us to figure it out and to stand confidently and strong and powerful and to bring our full selves and to be fully present in revealing our mastery. The world needs us now. That's what I'm here for. That's what the class is all about, the Fast Path to Masterful Coaching. That's what I'm here for, is to help you and all coaches I come into contact with to start moving faster. And one of the ways that we do this is let's put aside the hours thing, because as we already said, the hours are insignificant. It's what happens in that time frame. What is the shift and the change between our 500 and our 10,000? What gets discovered? What gets created? What gets revealed? What is the difference between a good coach and wow, look at that. That's amazing. That's brilliant. How do they do that? That is the kind of coach that we're looking at. Because if we can set our sights in clarity of the end point, where we're going, what we're moving towards, then we can actually move faster to achieving it. We do this with our clients, don't we? Our clients come to us with issues, problems, frustrations, obstacles, desires, results, all that stuff. And we go, great, what do you want by the end of this? What do you want it to look like? How do you want it to be? You tell me in the more detail, because the more we get clear about that end point, the easier us as coaches get to calibrate and figure out the clearest, easiest pathway to move in that direction, and then go. So we do this with our clients. Let's do it for our coaches. The problem is that it's not so clearly articulately designed as to what it is that we're growing into. What is masterful coaching, which is why we're here. So I've got various things. There's no way I'm going to get the full list out on this. Suffice to say, in the class, the Fast Path to Masterful Coaching, I'm happy to offer you all in the notes. I'm going to send the recording. I'll also send a link to this. If you're interested in checking it out, I'm happy to answer more questions, but also then offer a lovely discount to get you in because I'd love to give you more. But suffice to say, we're going to pack in as much as we can here. Well, we've already been packing in, but I want to open up and hear from you. I'll add in my own things. What is, now that we've built this up, well, what is masterful coaching? What is it? And I'll point you to look at a few resources to identify. Look at those incredible, brilliant coaches that you've had the gift of being able to witness. They might have been your trainers. They might have been your coach. You might have attended a webinar or something like that where you watched a demonstration, but you watched not just good coaching, but oh my goodness, mind-blowing, holy pink pajamas with pizza. How do they do that coaching? That's the stuff we're looking at. And I would love to hear from each of you at least once. What is masterful? Oh, other resource? Those moments in your coaching when you just went, oh, did I do that? Did that come out of me? Wow. Because I know each and every one of you has had those too. So look to those resources to identify what is masterful coaching. And then I'll fill in some of the gaps here. Anybody? Anyone? I know. Oh my goodness. What is masterful coaching?
Yes, I'll say something. Just really being in the present and in the moment with your client and just being able to notice what's going on, because it's so hard to not be in your head and trying to ask that next question, but just really being there to notice what's going on for them, that you can respond to that rather than like, just asking another question.
Yeah. Beautiful. And that's kind of coaching in general, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, for sure. It's what it should be anyway.
It should be, right. But that's kind of when we talk about coaching, well, that's what you're supposed to be doing in coaching. And the masterful level takes that even deeper. So I'll fill in, there's a couple of different places to look at for this. First off, all of these things, by the way, I'm touching lightly, so much more in the how to do this, what does this look like, all the detail and stuff and expansion in the class. But suffice to say, we're actually present to our clients and we're in full presence. So for years, and they finally started to rewrite this in the core competencies. For years, they just listed coaching presence as we're present to the client. When we talk about a masterful level, there's actually 4 different places where presence appears. And actually, there's probably more. So there's typically what we've gotten trained, which is coach is present to client. I am present to client. Now that also means we can dig in more deeply. Well, what does presence mean? Well, I'm picking up your words, I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm listening to the emotion, I'm feeling, I'm picking up the energy, I'm spotting your body language if we're on camera or in person, I'm hearing the nuances and the silence and the subtleties, I'm listening, I'm picking up, I'm receiving, I'm fully present. And as a coach, as a masterful coach, we're also fully present to ourselves. This is one of actually the myths that we break apart, is that we get admonished for that listening to ourselves, and you get out of your own head, you're in your own way, and you all that stuff. That's when we're only listening to ourselves, and we've sacrificed and we're not listening to the client. And we're not present to the client. But there's a danger if we go the same way, where we're constantly open and present to the client, but we've shut off everything here. Because this is where our curiosity lies. This is where our intuition is sparking. This is where our impulses and our hearing and I'm wondering if this is it, and this is where we need to go, and oh, this is what I'm noticing, and this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm experiencing. Not that it comes in and takes over, but that it's a contribution to the coaching. So as a coach, we're present to the client. We're also present to ourselves. The other place is we're present to the flow, the relationship that's here. So how are we going? It's not just, here's what the client is saying and doing and thinking and feeling. And it's more than just, here's what I'm saying and doing and thinking and feeling. It's also, how are we? So there's a focus and a presence of we here. And then lastly, we're also out. We're actually fully present to everything around us and looking down. So how I actually describe this, if we're talking about a masterful coach, and look at those coaches you've seen in action, look at those moments you felt when this was absolutely brilliant coaching. And that masterful coach is fully in with the client, right? This is kind of what you were describing, Aviva, right? It's like, I'm here. The rest of the world doesn't exist. I am so locked in with you, client. I got you. And at the same time, the masterful coach is here, watching everything. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? So that we're in the client, we're fully present in the coaching and fully out of the coaching at the same time. Intellectually, it sounds completely contradictory, right? How can you be in and out at the same time? That's the brilliance of masterful coaching. We actually stand, there's so many parts of this where we stand in paradox, and we actually find the truth within both. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, beautiful, brilliant, thank you. Anybody else? What is masterful coaching? When we've seen it, when we've felt it, when we've experienced it, when we've had it given to us. Oh my goodness, what are they doing? What is it like? All right. I'll fill in some of the gaps also because I want to respect the time. So here's a couple of other things. And this ties in, by the way, masterful coach, as I started off by saying, recognizes the perfection and the gift and the opportunity in everything. There is nothing bad or wrong that ever can happen. And there's kind of what this points to is there's a cardinal sacred rule that appears in coaching. We've been taught variations of the client is naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. The client is a powerful being. The client is the expert of their lives. All of that, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Where I point is that even with that, we still have defaults that come up of this client. How many times, come on, let's be honest. How many times have you been so glad that you've been coaching on the phone because your client can't see you rolling your eyes at the stupid idiot stuff that she's saying? And how many times are you glad that you're only just on video so your client can't see you just gripping the side of the chair like, oh, client, just shut up for a moment. Just shut up. Stop talking. Stop talking. Or, client, how many times are we going to have this freaking conversation? Just listen to what I'm telling you. Right? So here's the cardinal sacred rule that sinks into all of those other things we've been taught, but I tend to look at it slightly differently. And this is the client can never do client wrong. The client can never do client wrong. Every single time you have that thought, and I promise you, you will have that thought of, ugh. And it could be sample clients. It could be clients that you haven't locked and loaded on. And they're just, it's not, I keep asking this question and this client keeps going off in a different direction. And I keep asking this question. This client keeps saying, I don't know, tell me what to do, coach. And this client keeps not doing it right. Client can never do client wrong. This includes the very easily bandied about phrase, this client is uncoachable. Now, I have a strong belief about this, and I believe that there is only one reason why a client will not be uncoachable. There's only one reason that would determine a client is uncoachable. Anybody want to take a shot as what that is?
Hey, Cooper.
Hi, Cooper. Cooper's like, what? Why, how does he know me? Client can never do client wrong. Wait, what was the question I asked? Oh, uncoachable. What makes a client uncoachable? Yeah.
What I've encountered, and maybe this is not correct, but is clients that really need some kind of mental health support before they're able to be coached, or at least in conjunction with coaching, that they're either very depressed or mostly like severe depression, that they just can't move forward at all. They're just really stuck. Like they have the best of intentions, but they can't do anything.
There is a possibility of that. But you even kind of answered it. It's like, well, they may need therapy or counseling or specialized attention, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're uncoachable. It might mean you're not the right coach for them. It might mean they need other things. But where I'm pointing to is when we start diagnosing, oh, this client just is uncoachable. And the only thing that really reveals that a client is uncoachable is when they're not there. You can't coach them because they're not there. If they are there and they're shut down and they're frustrated and they're combative and they're just tell me what I want to do, what I need to know, coach, and just do this and just do that. And that urge of, look, I'm sorry, you're just not coachable. That just means you're not coaching. If they are there, there's one little thing that's keeping them there. We can make the assumption and the assertion, there's something there that is coachable. It may not be the way we're trying to coach. It may be that they're not responsive, or they're not clicking or connecting to this brilliant exercise or this incredible list of questions that we have, or this tried and true method. Every client I work with this problem, I ask them these questions and we do this exercise and it's miracle. And then the one person it doesn't work. ADD is a great example. Oh God, this ADD client is so uncoachable. No. It's just you're uncoaching. But if we look, client can never do client wrong. Then that forces us to find the rightness in the client. It doesn't mean buy into their story. Oh, you're right. Your life does suck. Oh, you're an idiot loser. Oh, I get it. It means find their rightness and let them be there. And then when we connect to them in that place, that's where we can start to find those accesses on how and where to coach. Client can never do client wrong. Even when we're convinced that they're doing it wrong, their job is just to be client. Our job is to adapt and adjust however possible. And one of the ways is that when we don't know, anybody here ever be in that place of like, I don't know what to do with this person. I don't know where to take them. I don't know what's the question. This client has got this client has got that, and I don't know how to help them. Yes? Yeah. Actually, we're getting a smaller group here. People keep disappearing. Part of that is, I don't know. I just threw myself off. Oh my goodness. If you don't know the answer, then you're asking the wrong person the question. Simple. If somebody asks you, well, what is the square root of 4,223? And the answer is, I don't know. Well, what is the element on the periodic table of elements? What is the element that is number 74? I don't know. Well, if I keep asking you that same question again and 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 again, you still don't know the answer. So maybe ask somebody else the answer. Or I'm sorry, ask somebody else the question. And that somebody else is the client. This is where we're in that deep partnership. If there is an I don't know that is in us, then stop asking yourself that question and ask your client. Your client has those answers, including they may be an I don't know as well. Great. So how do we handle this I don't know? Because client can never do client wrong. So great. The other place and this points to that I don't know world. Coaches can easily get uncomfortable in I don't know because if we look at it from a physiological and evolutionary point of view, I don't know means danger, doom, death. I don't know means you're going to die. If we look at a pure primal perspective. And that's our amygdala. And for all of us who've had the neuroscience and training and all this stuff, the amygdala and all of those little glands doing their survival job. I don't know is unknown, possibly dangerous, and I must prepare myself and protect myself against it. And so even as coaches, let's be honest, our clients are coming to us with I don't know because they've got this unsolvable problem. Every single client is coming to you with an unsolvable problem. Why is it unsolvable? Well, because if they could solve it, they would, right? They wouldn't be coming to you. It doesn't mean that on the whole, it's not unsolvable. It just means they can't solve it. They're standing in an I don't know already, which means that there's doom and gloom and death and disaster coming if I don't fix this problem. Which, by the way, also starts to shut down their ability to think clearly and cleanly. Now you got a coach here, your client gives you an unsolvable problem. Client, fix my unsolvable problem. Well, you don't know how to do that. And so that instantly starts to lower your ability. Remember, your I don't knows, oh crap, if I don't fix this client's problems, they just dump this unsolvable problem on my lap. And now if I can't fix it, they're going to fire me. They're going to get rid of me. Right? And so those start to get sparked. And so we have to learn how to be comfortable and powerful in the world of I don't know. So the masterful coach, instead of being frustrated or scared or avoiding I don't knows, we actually go into I don't knows. I don't know becomes the open space and the blank canvas that we get to paint anything. I don't know becomes a playground. This is where we get to take obstacles. Oh, this is a problem. Oh, this is scary. Oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, this is unexpected and and unpredicted and all of that stuff. I don't know. Now becomes the obstacles now become opportunity. Look at this. Look at this unexpected mess that showed up. Now what? Oh my goodness, you don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Great. We actually get to receive and stand beautifully in the I don't know. Wonderful. Years ago, before I got into coaching, I was an actor. And one of the things that we learned in the powerful world of acting is in improv, especially, there's a skill and a technique and a language called yes and. It's brought into various coach trainings. I don't know if it's brought into all coach trainings, but this comes to that crux of what we're talking about. Yes and. The beginner approach to that is that we take whatever it is that somebody gives us and then we just give it right back to them. What's that frog doing in your pocket? Oh yeah, that's a frog in my pocket. That's boring. Who cares? And what this points to is we can't deny it either. Well, what's that frog doing in your pocket? Oh no, that's not a frog. In fact, no, I'm not wearing pants. Oh my goodness. No, it's not a frog. It's not. You're wrong. They just said it was a frog. So now we have to go with it. Yes, we have to accept everything that's given, including everything your clients give you. No, coach, you're misunderstanding. Got it. Oh, this emotion thing is suddenly coming up and I'm crying and I'm angry and I'm hurt and I'm scared. Yes. You don't understand. Yes. I'm not good enough. I got it. You're not agreeing with them. You're taking it. Yes. You're honoring their reality and their experience and their truth. You're not buying and colluding. Yes, you are an idiot and a moron. That's giving back the same thing, right? Yes, you're not good enough. Yes, they're out to get you. Yes, your life sucks and is horrible. I get it. Ha ha. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, yes, I get it. Your life is hard. And that's why the and is so critical. Because as coaches, we're going to add something to it. Whether it's a question, an observation, a little insight, or whatever it is, that's all the coaching stuff that you got. Yes, oh, I got it. You're frustrated and stuck and empty in your life right now. And tell me what it's like over here, or what is it over there? Yes, I get it. You're trying to figure out how to solve this unsolvable problem, and I'm curious about what values are here. Yes, I get it. This person is here and making your life miserable, and I'm wondering blah, 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 blah. That's the world that we are as coaches. We live in that accept and receive everything because client can never do client wrong. No, coach, you don't get it. Got it. I don't get it. Thank you for telling me that. And clarify. If we can remember that, coach, client can never do client wrong. Recognize the perfection and the gift and the opportunity in everything. Yes, and. Okay, does this make sense? Question, comments? I want to point to, again, there's so much here, but I'm so glad and I love being able to deepen some of this for you. There's another aspect of masterful coaching that I want to bring in. So masterful coach, it's not just the nice idea, yes and. This is our constant every moment of our coaching. And that includes, by the way, when we get stuck. Oh, I got stuck. Oh, I interrupted. Oh, I'm lost. Oh, I'm confused. Yes. Because when we accept it, that threat and that horrible doom and consequences releases and invites that curiosity and that creativity. So much more about this in the class, neuroscience, threat levels, protection, survival. But suffice to say, if we can just remember to take and write that out, yes, comma, and put it where you coach, and everything that comes out of you, everything that your client gives to you, take it and then and it. Give it, just add something to it, whatever it is. My guess is you're already doing that. Now you get to do that intentionally. Which points to another aspect of MasterFull coaching, which it's actually illustrated by one of my favorite quotes from Deepak Chopra, which is, the space in between every thought is filled with infinite possibilities. The space between thought is filled with infinite possibility, not just 4 or 5, like, not just like 100, infinite, like that's a big number. Infinite. Now, if we look again mathematically, it's estimated by various scientific studies that we usually have typically somewhere between 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Most of that is unconscious, fleeting thoughts and things that are just sort of flying around in our head, data processing, data seeing, interpreting, identifying, associating good, bad, all that stuff. And then every now and then we get intentional thoughts. I'm thinking about this. And all of that is collected to be about 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. We're going to assume that's roughly per waking day, although that might include all the stuff that's happening while we're sleeping. But just for the sake of this, let's do waking hours, which then reduces it down to about 5,000 thoughts per hour. And if we break that down per minute, that actually comes to 167 thoughts that we're having every minute. Boom, 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 boom. Every minute, 167 thoughts, give or take. That's a lot. And that also points to 167 infinite possibilities in between every single one of those thoughts. There is the problem is that coaches and people, we collapse and confuse possibility with probability. Probability is based on statistics, based on past performance, based on trend, based on habit, and we're predicting what is likely to happen. If I go A, B, C, D, what's probable is the next letter is going to be E. What's possible is the next letter could be F or banana or 1922. It could be anything. Possible versus probable. Anything is possible. Infinite possibilities lie 167 times every minute, times 2, because you've got you and your clients. Your clients are infinite possibilities 167 times every minute. Infinite. That's huge. And they're stuck in probable. Laura, thank you for coming. I'm so glad your confidence went up. I'm going to send out, because you signed up for this, I'll send out the link to the recording. You can also send me a quick email, ben@bedo for more, and I'll show you more about the class and give you, the class, mastermycoaching.com. Go check it out. And it's not there, but I will give you all a 10% discount if you want to join. But I want to wrap this up. We've got 167 infinite possibilities times 2, which means 334. Yeah, that's right. 334 infinite possibilities every minute of your coaching. Every minute of your coaching contains 334, which is roughly about 50, no, it's about 5 infinite possibilities every single second. 5.5. That's amazing. And that is what a masterful coach stands in. That's what we do. We easily, because we're human also, we're going to get hooked by probability and likelihood and data and statistics and predicting. But as coaches, if we remember infinite possibility, everything, anything is possible. So there's more. There's so much more. There's only so much I can cram into this. I'm glad that this has been helpful. I'm sure it's been helpful in other ways, but I'm sure, I think Tan and Aviva, you're still here. Thank you for sticking around. Any questions or comments, takeaways, things that you want to grab and lock in, and that also helps sink this in a little bit more. We got a minute or two. Questions, comments? All righty. Very cool. Thank you so much for coming. As I said, I'm going to send out the link to this recording for all those who signed up for this webinar. We're going to do this again on Wednesday morning, depending on where you are. Same link can offer that option. And the conversation will be similar, but also different. So you're absolutely welcome to join that one. That's actually going to be the first class of the Fast Pass to Masterful Coaching. So yeah, Aviva, Tan, if you're interested, happy to have you. And there's so much more available. So other than that, I'm happy to stick around if you have any other questions. Otherwise, take something that you learned today. Take whatever it is that you got. I mean, you got many things, but grab at least one thing. Write it down. Put it where you coach. Recognize the gift, opportunity, and perfection in everything. Boom. Yes, and boom. Client can never do client wrong. Boom. Infinite possibilities. Boom. You are already a powerful, amazing, masterful coach. Boom. And I'm here to help you find more of that. Because my job, my commitment is to help you be the coach you are truly here to be and that the world is needing you to be. So contact me later, toss me an email, check out the class, come back for more, tons of stuff. All right, that wraps us up for here. Perfect group, perfect people showed up today. Thank you for being here, especially Aviva and Tan. Thank you for sticking around all this time. And I'm going to end the webinar. I'm sticking around if you have any other questions that you don't need recorded. Other than that, I will see you all the next time.